Hello, human people. So, long time no film. Not sure what this video is going to turn out to be, but I wanted to talk about turning 20. That was a rhyme. So, I'm going to be 20 next month, and it's seriously freaking me out. It was kind of worse earlier in the year when I had time to think about it, but now I'm in college, and I feel like every day I'm constantly running. Just running. If that even makes sense. It's like I never stop until I'm in bed at night and I'm like about to fall asleep. But turning 20 freaks me out because, I mean, there's so much responsibility ahead of me. When you're 18 and 19, I feel like you can kind of get by without people hounding you on getting a job and getting married and whatever else 20-year-olds are supposed to do. But like, when you're 18 or 19, it's like, okay, you're going to school, you're gonna live with your parents, that's fine. But now that I'm 20, I just feel like people are going to be pushing me even more, like, why don't you have a job yet? I mean, that's been happening since I was like 17, but it's just really hard because I feel like all of this responsibility is coming in on me and I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if I'm ready to have a job and go to school full time. I don't know if I'm ready to have a job, go to school full time, and have a video blog. I don't even feel like I'm handling having a video blog and going to school full time very well. Really, I guess what's bothering me is all of the uncertainty and the pretty sure feeling I have that I'm going to have more responsibilities coming soon. And I don't even know if that even made sense grammatically or in any way, but it just feels like the world right now is so uncertain and like all this stuff is going on in the world that it's terrible. And there's nothing I can do about that. It's like the world is stressing me out and then my life is stressing me out. The world is going through a hard time and so am I. So it's like when stuff's going on in the world and you're like, well, that's bad, but I'm just gonna retreat to my space and try to kind of like push that out for just right now so I can be happy and not stress out all the time. But like I retreat to my space and my space is also like, hey, can we like go out into the world because like it's really stressful right here and I'd like to be distracted. And it's just really, blah, it's really hard. Like it's, And Jordan Taylor on his channel recently posted a video about like something very similar. He's in his young adult stage of life and it feels like there's so much responsibility and so much we have to do. It's such a confusing, scary, uncertain time. It's just so weird. Like there's no other time of life like this life, I think, where you're like, you've been in this part of life for this whole time where you've just been nurtured by your parents and now you have this chunk of your life where it's time like they're like nudging you out of the nest to this part of your life where you're totally on your own and you don't want to be on your on your own. Who does? Maybe I'm speaking as like a privileged American where I say this, especially like nowadays, because people used to like get married when they were 12, but now it's like that 12 area is now here and it's a lot harder. And another thing I've been thinking about is that like my life in the past 4 years has taken a huge turn. It's made a huge transformation when it came to like being diagnosed with OCD, it being as severe as it was, and then getting into recovery, and it happened so fast, like all in the span of 1 year pretty much. And thinking about it now, I was 16 when I went into the OCD program and I'm gonna be 20. And that means it's been 4 years since I went into the OCD program. And that blows my mind. However, I feel like I've grown in the past 10 years of my life, like this decade I'm in now, than the one before it. And I think that's because of everything I went through with the severe OCD and even the depression and anxiety I had beforehand that got bad when I was like 12. And then the OCD recovery and the total switches my life has made. It's been, I almost want to say traumatic, but I think a better word would be like it's been spontaneous. I don't even think that's the word I'm looking for, but it works. It's just been unpredictable, that's it. It's been unpredictable. And it's crazy to think that this stage in my life is over. I'm not a teenager anymore. I mean, it was hard when I figured out that I couldn't go, like last year when I found out I can't go back to the OCD program, the one that I'm used to if I get sick again. And I can't go back to where I'm comfortable. I have to go, like if I get sick, and not only am I sick, I have to go to somewhere I don't know, with people I don't know. And it's just growing up means that all of this stuff is blocked off now. There's stuff that I can't return to. And like now it's time for me to like get married and move out, and I just don't know if I'm ready for that. It's just so weird. It's such a drastic change. I know that people have a lot of opinions on the young adult stage of life and why we've created that, and if it just means adults get to be lazy now, but honestly I'm grateful that I get to ease into the transition. I don't know how much of an effect it has on me psychologically or the whole millennial generation. But another thing on feeling like I'm still connected to my 16-year-old self in the OCD program. I recently went to a reunion for the OCD program, and I seriously think I was the oldest person there. And no one, not one person, not one patient was there from when I was in the program. And it kind of makes me feel like, are they like moving on with their lives and I'm not? Like, I know that I don't want to grow up. That's no surprise to me. But is it that bad that like I'm sticking with the comfortable and I'm not moving forward? I'm not trying the new stuff and doing the new stuff I have to do to be an adult? I don't know. Honestly, like thinking about the past 4 years where I've been, the ups and the downs, when I went to the reunion, I got really upset, and I broke down because I felt like I'm not where I want to be or where I quote unquote should be where I am right now. Because like you guys know, I've had a really tough summer with OCD, and that seemed to be getting better for a while, and then it just kind of plummeted back downward. And it just feels like I'm doing things, I'm doing everything right, and I don't know why the stuff that bothers me is still bothering me after 3 years. Like I'm doing everything I can, I still feel down, and these things still bother me. And this wasn't meant to be a recovery vlog, but like speaking in terms of like growing up, I think this is kind of related, because like this part of me that doesn't want to grow up and like be 20, and then there's this part of me that like doesn't want to, that feels unsatisfied with where she's at 20 years old and in OCD recovery as well. So I guess I just feel like I'm unsatisfied because I'm not doing everything that I guess a 20-year-old should be doing. But I also don't feel like I'm ready to be doing everything a 20-year-old should be doing, according to some people. And then the same with OCD recovery. I feel unsatisfied because I'm not doing everything I feel like I should be doing. And I'm not feeling every way I feel like I should be feeling. But I'm doing the best that I can. At least I feel like with OCD recovery, I'm ready to do that stuff I need to do. I'm just not entirely sure what I need to do to get rid of this. But yeah, turning 20. That's a whole another decade of my life gone to the wind. And it's crazy because like in 10 years I'm gonna be 30. Like what? I really love, like I always used to say that I was an eternal teenager because it feels like ever since I turned like 16, I've never grown up. I've never made it past the age of 16. I have a theory that that's because I had OCD when I was 16, and literally my whole 16th year was taken up by having OCD and then recovering from OCD. And I feel like because of that, I've kind of kept on with my youth. But that's just a theory, an age theory. But really, I'm not 16 anymore. And I was talking to someone in my ceramics class who works with teenagers, and she said the same thing. She felt like she was still like a teenager inside, but then she heard the teenagers she worked with talking, and she figured out like, these kids are really dumb. Like, no offense, I know a lot of teenagers watch me. You guys aren't dumb, you guys are cool. But then there are a lot of teenagers who make really bad decisions, and I feel like I wouldn't make those decisions, especially not now. I have grown and matured in my faith and age, in my attitude, my personality, in my recovery, but it still feels like I gotta make a leap into this new decade of my life, and I don't know if I want to, and I don't know if I'm ready to, and it's scary. I never want to grow up, basically. What's kind of funny is that saying that I was an adult, or saying that I'm like a full-grown woman or whatever, or just a woman, used to trigger my OCD because I have sexual obsessions, and to me, like, saying I'm an adult or I'm a woman has a sort of sexual connotation to it. If you have sexual obsessions or even OCD, you'll understand what I'm talking about now. If you don't, you might be a little confused, but my brain associates things with things it probably doesn't need to be associated with, and then I get anxious, essentially. But lately I've been telling people, I've been wanting to tell people like I'm an adult because I feel like people aren't treating me like an adult. And I don't mean to point fingers, but especially like people who I've worked with in the past, I feel like they still treat me like I'm a little girl or a child or whatever age I was when they first met me. And I'm not that anymore. I'm definitely a completely different person than when I met those people. And I want to be treated like an adult. And a lot of the fear I had about speaking my obsessions out loud was, I think, related to the fact that my therapist was like a child and adolescent therapist. And I felt like always like she treated me like a child. So if I said these terrible things to her, she would be like, girl, you need to see someone else, or you need to be admitted, please go to jail, skip go and go straight to jail. Juvie, I guess. But it's like, ugh. Do not collect 200. But like now, seeing an adult therapist, I feel more open. I feel like I've worked really hard the past year with this new therapist. I've said like all of my intrusive thoughts to her. And like, I feel like the stuff that's bothering me now is the stuff that bothered me like before I even started working on the obsessions, and that makes the why is my OCD so bad feeling worse. Okay, well now I'm just tangenting, and this is turning into a recovery vlog, so I'm gonna go. It's just like, dang, this is really weird. This is really bizarre that I am gonna be 20 years old. And it was weird turning 18, because like, ooh, I'm an adult. I can vote and smoke cigarettes if I want to. I don't want to. But now I'm gonna be 20, and it's just like, there's no fun thing that comes with being 20, at least not in America. The only thing I get is that now I'm not a teenager anymore, and people are going to expect more of me. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but at least when I'm 21 I can drink, so that's like this year 20, next year I get to drink, so. Anyway, guys, question of the day. Do you get any fun things in your country when you're 20? Things that, you know, are suddenly legal for you just because you lived a certain amount of time. But anyway, guys, this tangent is over. Thank you guys for listening to me talk. If you can relate to anything I said today, or want to tell me about something that is legal in your country at age 20, let me know. I love you guys. I will see you all later. Bye. What a weird life this is. The vlogger OCD life. Okay. Imagine me having a real job. My notes fell over here. Alright. Nope. Nope, no they did not. Where did they go? Wait, that's so bizarre. Can I just have them? Found them, guys. They're on the second page. However, I feel like I've grown more in the past 4 years of my life than, or not even that, but just like my whole like teen years, like the past 10 years. It doesn't matter about your maturity level or anything, just your age, your strict chronological age. I think that's pretty funny because like in Canada you can drink at 18, in England, like all the England vloggers who are like 18 are like, let's go to the pub. And I'm like, you can't go to the pub. Oh wait, they're English. Lucky them. No. I don't really have an interest in drinking, which is another thing. I think another reason I don't care for turning 20. I'm not interested in adult things really.